Welcome to Moments with Marianne. This is your host, Marianne Pastana. And we're here today with special guest, Mary Kay Savarese, who's here to share with us the new book in the Star Writers Trilogy, the Star Writers Club. So are you looking for a book that will just captivate you? Well, today, Mary Kay Savarese is here to share just that. So Mary Kay Savarese is a best-selling, award-winning, traditionally published author and speaker who is known for her quirky titles. Her debut novel, titled Tigers Love Bubble Baths and Obsession Perfume, Who Knew?, is a mystery romance with a supernatural twist, and it garnered 8 awards. Her recent novel, The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, is the first in the Star Writers Trilogy. She recently won the New York City Big Book Award for fantasy, as well as an International Royal Dragonfly for fantasy and young adults. So let's welcome to the show, Mary Kay Savarese.
Thank you so very much for having me on.
Well, it's such an honor to have you here, Mary, to talk about the second book of the Star Writers Trilogy, the Star Writers Club. Let's talk about your first book, The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper. I understand that many people love this trilogy, and it's been getting such great reviews. Can you share a little bit about that book with us?
Oh, thank you. I would love to. The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper is the first book of the Star Writers Trilogy. The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, there's a great background story to it, but it is a fantasy adventure intertwined with not one romance, but several romances, a coming of age, a young adult, the 20-something, a first time really love 30-something, and unfortunately a divorce, which in itself is included within all the romances.
Well, that's probably why so many people resonate with your work, because it's so relatable. So many people are going through this. We don't just have one true love. We do go through several. And so what a great storyline this is. Can you share a little bit with us how you even developed that story?
Yes, I am very influenced, Marianne, by events in my life. My debut novel was titled Tigers Love Bubble Baths and Obsession Perfume. Who knew? It was a murder mystery intertwined with the supernatural. And that title came about because I actually saw a tiger go into a bubble bath and have their mouth sprayed with obsession perfume. So that became, I always start with the title. The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper. I love toile wallpaper. Now, people in your audience are surrounded by toile in the sense that it is part of our everyday life. We just don't know that it goes by the name of toile, but toile tells a story. Toile is a wall covering or fabric, and it's not a mural. It's many different types of scenes on the wallpaper or on the fabric. And it's two-toned, very artistic, very vibrant. And it always sparked such a love for me, these colors on a background and telling a story. So I live in Florida now, but several years ago, I lived in Connecticut. And in the Northeast, I put up so much of this toile wallpaper. I had a problem selling my own home because they said, this woman is too much into this wallpaper. But as I walked past my wallpaper every day, what came to me was love, betrayal, a story. And that is how I developed The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper.
Well, and I'm so excited that your next book from the Star Writers Trilogy has come out, the Star Writers Club. Can you share a little bit about that? How did you even get that title?
Well, the nitty-gritty of it is, being an author, and my books have all won awards and they've been bestsellers. And when I approached my first small publishing house about an idea for a trilogy, they were not interested. So I approached a different small publishing house and they were interested. And at the time, I had the first book, The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper. And I did have an idea for a continuation of it, but I just didn't want to jump right into it. So I developed these themes. It is written in the star. I talked about Star Writers in The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper and how my main characters would say they are sending their dreams, their wishes to the Star Writers. So within a trilogy, you can take anything, a theme, you can go back in time. It is not a series. And I took the theme of the Star Writers and I developed that to be a book in between The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper and Return the Girl in the Toile Wallpaper. And it is an ethereal theme, meaning it happens outside of the realm of our world, where Star Writers live, where Star Writers go, where Star Writers take his plan into the stars. And it's stuck in between the two earthly books. And it is titled The Star Writers Club, the second in the Star Writers Trilogy.
There's so much that happens with the first book, The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, and then we go to the second book, The Star Writers Club. What's the difference between the two?
Very, very different. Again, in the sense that I had to develop a world around worlds. Now, the worlds that I worked with are that is what is beyond our life here, the good and the evil. And when I started to write the Star Writers Club, I started pulling my hair out, Marianne, because I had to develop. I was working in fantasy, but at the same time, my editor would say to me, you still have to keep it in reality. So I developed a world outside of the heavenly, and I developed a world outside of the underworld. For reasons that we may discuss a little bit down the road. But that in itself posed such a challenge, but such a rewarding challenge in the end, because I began to think, how can I possibly write maybe 70,000 words? And 70,000 words for a reader is probably maybe 250 to 275 pages, whereas I ended up with about 400 pages. So it's a very thick book, but it's in three parts because we had to extend the story. There was so much there to develop.
I understand that the Star Writers Club received a recommended rating, and I'd love to hear about that.
Yes, US Review of Books. Now, as an author, when you are requesting a review from these major reviewers, you kind of have to be ready. What I mean by be ready is it going to come back good, which you're praying and hoping for? Is it going to be very critical? Is it going to be very bad? And I was just so thrilled and honored by the US Review of Books, because they came back with such an incredible review that really took into account not only the characters, but the journey. And I am so privileged because it will be put on, it is on the cover of the book. It's a US Review of Books is a very prestigious organization, and I am just honored by that review.
It is a great review. It is definitely a great review. Congratulations.
Thank you. I don't want to bore your audience by reading it. But it is, parts of it are on the cover of the book and inside the book.
Now, did you always see yourself as a writer? Because my goodness, you've produced these 3 books. They're all bestsellers. They all have awards. Was this something that you always planned?
No, I did not, Marianne. I've always had these like ideas for things that went on the back burner. My degree comes from finance and accounting, and I was very much in that world. I raised a family, and everything always went on the back burner because, as we all know, when you wear so many hats, it's not about you, it's about taking care of those around you. And that's what happened. And it really wasn't until my oldest, I have three children, the oldest went off to college. And I said, let me see, I have these ideas. And my ideas, I love to write in a fantasy world because reality is too real for me. And I love to take readers on a journey, take you away from your everyday lives and place you into a place that takes you on a journey. So that journey began for me there. And Marianne, I'm an overnight success, a 10-year overnight success, because my goal was to become traditionally published. And 10 years ago, we didn't have the avenues that are present to an author today. Self-publishing has changed. Back then, it was taboo. You have co-publishing. You still have traditional publishing houses, but many smaller houses have opened up and are thriving because the big ones won't even let you in anymore unless you have a literary agent with you. So the world has changed, and that was my goal. And it did. It took me 10 years. And on a big birthday, I just said, when is this going to happen for me? I'm going to be dead. And I could laugh about it now, but he answered. A contract came in pretty much the next day.
That's so exciting when that happens. It just seems the universe opens up for you and that you're meant to do this. And my goodness. So, in the second book, I mean, there's so much going on. Can you share a little bit about the Star Writers Club with us?
Yes, very much. You know, the Star Writers Club, again, is a fantasy journey. And I don't want to scare the readers, but it begins after my character's life on Earth. And I was so influenced by young people that had passed on for many reasons, illness, and just it just wasn't their time, that it really became the input for me for writing the Star Writers Club. I always felt that he has a plan for us, and whether it's here or it's there, that was the impetus for the Star Writers Club. And I take 12 characters, they are all prominent characters, and I take them on a journey. That takes the reader on a journey because they have to come to terms with their new ethereal life, why they are there, why they are unique, why they were chosen. And of course, you have to throw in the twists and turns. I love throwing in that fight between the light and the dark. And that's what they are dealing with.
Ooh, that is so good. That is so good. And I've got to tell you, I've read the book. It is phenomenal. It is a great read. And I'm sure our listeners want to start with The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper and then pick up the Star Writers Club and start reading that as well. When you talk about developing these characters, we talk about the good and the light and the dark. How was it when you were developing these?
I love to go into a world of, depending on what you are trying to accomplish in your story. Like, as an author, I laugh because I am a pantser, not a planner. And a pantser is an author that writes by the seat of their pants. What happens to me is a title comes to me, and then I develop a general storyline. Once I have that, I begin developing the characters that I think would be appropriate to this storyline. I love diversity. I love having sometimes you can have many, sometimes you can't have many. But I fall in love with these characters. I become them. Not that I'm walking around and I'm talking in their voices, but they are in my head. They are part of my world. And as an author, you have to, when you create them, you have to understand what motivates them, what their goals are, why they may be good and why they may be bad. And that's basically, um, when I say pantser, I love it. For me, it's a gift because it's like I start writing and these characters and the story just takes me on a journey with these twists and turns that I never had in the beginning of my idea. And that's why I love being an author so much. Because Marianne, had become a career, I would have always had this joy in my soul of just writing and creating.
So, how I know you have this great dedication in your book, and you talk about what the meaning of that, the inspiration, the spark. I'd love for you to share that with our listeners.
Very much so. I knew from the beginning when I was going to write the Star Writers Club. And your audience cannot see me, but I am ready to start bawling because this book is dedicated to 3 people that were taken much too soon from this world. And they are very much a part of this story. They are my characters. And as you read the dedication, it explains who they are in the novel. And it's a 10-month-old named Rosie, and she was taken way, way too soon. Another young adult, beautiful young woman, Megan, taken too soon from this world, and she is my protagonist, M. And just to go back to Rosie, she is the character Rosie in the book, full of life and spirit. And the last is dedicated to a very, very dear friend who she lived, but she was taken way, way too soon. And she is my tough director because she was very much a director in life. So they're very much in my heart, in my thoughts as I was writing these characters, and the book is dedicated to them and to all of those. Because I know how much people struggle when somebody too young is taken or taken too soon. And that's what the Star Writers Club is. It's a story about that, but also the purpose that lies behind for many of us, maybe not here in this world, but maybe for a reason in the next world.
Well, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know so many people are going through that right now as well. And being able to memorialize and these wonderful people within this series, this trilogy. I mean, my goodness, what a gift that is.
Thank you very, very much. And it's a memorial to them. Thank you so much for your kind words and thoughts. I appreciate that so much coming from you.
We're going to pause here for a quick break. We've been speaking with Mary K. Savarese in regards to her book, The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, and the Star Writers Club. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hi, this is Jana Wilson, author of Wise Little One, Learning to Love and Listen to My Inner Child, a best-selling prescriptive memoir in inner child healing. I'm also the founder of the Emotional Healing System. The inner child, simply put, is your feelings, both positive and negative. If you'd like to learn to love and listen to your wise little one, pick up my book at Amazon or visit my website at janawilson.com. It's never too late to have a happy childhood.
The first thing you need to know about me is that I love my kids, but they are not my everything. they used to be, but that's when my entire life fell apart. In order to pick back up the pieces, I had to put the love I have for myself before everything else, including my kids. I'm Jessica Dennehy, and I own multiple businesses. I'm a best-selling author, and I have all the strategies that I've used to make my life what it is today. And I'm going to teach you how to do them in my new book, Selfish is a Superpower. So go get your copy today on Barnes & Noble or jessicadennehy.com.
Announcing a revolutionary tool for wellness. Scalar Light has the ability to enhance and harmonize your own bioenergies. With Scalar Light, you can get started in just minutes and begin feeling better the very next day. Scalar Light is a remote energy that gently and subtly works with your own body's bioenergies, increases pro-cellular wellness, and enhances your body's immunity.
Experience the benefits of Scalar Light. Try a complimentary 15-day experience at scalarlight.com.
Are you ready to celebrate World Wellness Weekend on September 15, 16, and 17? Well, we are. 6,000 venues in 147 countries are organizing fun and free activities for you to enjoy with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Look on wellmap.org, WELLMAP.
In your hands lie ancestral patterns. These patterns shape how you think, what you struggle with, and experiences you love, your life pattern. We're going into the latest neuroscience of biological hand analysis, a realm beyond palmistry where science and the soul entwine. Hand analysis is the latest method to transform lifelong patterns. I am Master Hand Analyst Brent Bruning. Join us and visit thepowerinyourhands.com.
Looking for a page-turner? Cozy up to a fantasy adventure romance trilogy with The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper by Mary K. Savarese. The second novel in the Star Writers Trilogy, The Star Writers Club, is coming soon. Take the journey. Connect with Mary at www.maryksavarese.com. Her books are available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all indie bookstores.
With Breath Hub, you'll experience the transformative power of breath as it harmonizes your body, mind, and spirit. Recommended by experts in fitness, sports, psychology, and medicine. Meet the scientific way of being well. Breath Hub. Breathe better, live better.
Pandemonium. Fast forward 20 years. A U.S. president seizes control of all U.S. missiles, the power grid, the banking system, and every computer in America as he hides in an underground bunker. Pandemonium, a captivating sci-fi thriller where a hidden war, psychics, aliens, artificial intelligence, and transcendental love collide with the latest media technology. Pandemonium, live to all devices. Get your copy on paperback or digital. Free sample at getpsychic.org.
I'd like to thank Jason Eastwood at Guitarfulness for sharing his inspiring music and talent with us. His music is known worldwide for cultivating atmospheres of harmony, inner peace, and clarity. Visit Jason's website at guitarfulness.com. Join his newsletter, be part of his community, and download his music. Welcome back to Moments with Marianne. We're here today with special guest Mary K. Savarese, who's sharing with us her trilogy, the Star Writers Trilogy. The first book we've been talking about is The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, followed by The Star Writers Club. So before we left for break, we were talking about how the other side, heaven, however we're identifying that, is interwoven within your second book, The Star Writers Club. And I think for a lot of people, that story that discusses how love never dies is so encouraging. We each are coming on our way to this threshold that we'll cross someday. And having our loved ones being able to read a story like this will give them a deeper understanding of our love and connection with one another.
Absolutely. It's love endures. Love is eternal. It's all about love. If you don't have love, you have nothing. And within the love, we have to do, with the writing and being the author, you have to do the twists and turns and take your readers on a journey. It can't all be good, but you want to give it a good ending, a fight. That's what's fun about writing.
So, how did your faith play a part in writing this trilogy?
My faith as a Christian played a big part, and I went to other faiths. When you think about it, every faith has something greater than ourselves. So I really went to many different faiths. And my research, not only for my own upbringing is as a Catholic, but within the Christian faith, within the Jewish faith, within other religious faiths, I went and did some research and I found that link between the light and the dark. And my writing, the Star Writers Club, Marianne, it's a fantasy. And that's exactly what it is. We take what's out there and we twist it and we turn it into a different mousetrap per se. And that's where the Star Writers Club has come in.
I think that piece just intertwines with the story so well. It brings everything just together, having that influence.
And it's such a strong influence. Everybody in this world, you have your beliefs or you have your non-beliefs. So within the Star Writers Club, I delved into all of that. And I use this in my writing this fantasy because it's a journey. It's a story. I'm not trying to scare anybody. It's not a horror story. It's a story of love and purpose, but yet it's intertwined with so many different facets and twists and turns and those red herrings and things that make a book a good story.
I would agree with you on that. So it definitely is a great story. And embarking on this adventure where you're writing fiction, fantasy, adventure books, I mean, it must have been just a game changer for you in many ways, but bringing this all forward, my goodness, do you bring this from your personal life or is this something that your imagination goes with?
My favorite thing is to watch movies and read books that are fantasy adventures. It's just, I just love it. There, and anything and that time travel and anything like that authors and writers use to take you away from your everyday world. I mean, we all work so hard, we wear so many hats, so it's really just about the make believe. There's nothing to me unbelievable as make believe, and as it takes us on the journey, we learn from it. You have everything in it. You have the romance, which is the love. You have the twists and turns. You have the good. You have the evil. You have the betrayal. Everything to me is in a fantasy adventure. And that's why I'm so drawn to it, to just make up things. And I watch like from movies and like I love Dungeons and Dragons. To me, that latest movie, the initiative they use, the fantasy, the creativity, to me is just unbelievable. And that just like gets me to want to think of things like pushing the envelope on those fantasy adventures.
Well, you sure did that. You sure did that. Earlier you mentioned Star Writer.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of our listeners are going, well, what is that? What's a
Yeah.
Star Writer? Can you share that with us?
Yes. A star writer is a fantasy that I invented. In The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, as I mentioned, my main characters, the protagonists, are asking for a wish, or they're saying it's as if it's a prayer that goes up into the universe, and they truly believe is being answered. And it is that very theme that I took, and I said, well, if you're making a wish, if you're saying a little prayer, if you're asking for help from the universe, where does it go? And I developed the Star Writer. Where do they come from? How do they get to be these incredible afterlife souls that hear what we are asking for and answering? And how is it answered? And that's what the Star Writers Club is. It's our purposes in life taken to a different level and how it's answered.
I absolutely love that. I think it's such a great way of looking at how all that comes together. And I'm never going to look at prayer the same way now. You know that. Now,
And you know, Marianne, not everybody may believe in prayer. So I delve into other aspects, wishes and thoughts and everything else. It's incorporated in whatever people's beliefs are. It can go to a different realm, a different universe, something beyond our lives here. And that's where I bring in the different religions throughout the world within the writing of the Star Writers Club.
you've done that so skillfully. And one of the things I found interesting is I've heard it said that all thought is prayer in many ways, or many different cultures that believe that. So, how empowering it is to bring that all together, that it takes just a thought to connect with people on the other side.
You nailed it right on the head. And one of the things I do want to share with the audience is that because I cannot imagine what the heavens beyond here may be like, I truly believe it's good that it's closed off, because as we know, as we exploit everything else around us, that would be exploited. So I do not bring the reader into what I think is heaven. I bring you into something around that, a world that I created. The other thing is the underworld. I am so superstitious, and like I stay away, Marianne, from Ouija boards. I don't delve into that world, but I bring you into a world around that world of my own making. So that is truly, I'm sharing with your audience my superstitions. I cannot even assume what a heaven is like because it is perfection. And they always say, if you hear anybody that's left this world and come back, they honestly say, I cannot explain it. I cannot describe it. So I had to create worlds around that. And hell, I don't even want to go there.
Well, I can understand that. You have so many twists and turns within your book. Can you share a couple with us without giving away the whole storyline?
Well, basically, what an author does with the twist and turn is I am taking you along one path. And you as a reader, and I've been there as a reader myself. I'm like, oh, I got this. I got it figured out. That's where I throw in that red herring. That's where I shut you down and I open something else least expected, because that is the fun part. I call this an easy read. My writing are all easy reads, but I still want to throw things at you where you're going to say, wow, I didn't expect that to happen.
Well, you definitely do that. And it makes it such a really entertaining read, because a lot of times you're taking people through one scenario and something else happens. You're like, well, wait a minute. Where did this come from? How is this happening?
Yes, and that's the fun part of fantasy adventures and mysteries and everything else, the twists and turns in that journey.
So what do you want our readers and listeners to take away from this trilogy?
One thing I do want people to take away is to never give up on yourself and, to just follow me. I want to always take you on that adventure, take you away, and give you a nice time and some joy. Not that you don't have joy in your life, but to give you that little fantasy that gives you a journey. And I'm completing my book number 3, which I'm excited about, will be out, down the road next year, which will return you to the girl in the Toile wallpaper, but with whole new characters. That was one of the reasons, Marianne, I didn't want you to, go from the girl in the Toile wallpaper immediately to the third one, because I wanted to have something in between. And the girl in the Toile wallpaper I'm thrilled to say, will be coming an audiobook. So that will be out before the end of the year. So look for that in audiobooks, the girl in the Toile wallpaper.
I'm so glad that you have this series. And I think it's perfect with the girl in the Toile wallpaper, the Star Writers Club next, that gets into that spiritual aspect in many ways that people are we're looking for the continuation of a story. And then, this next book that's coming out, I can't wait for the next book. I'm excited.
Thank you.
So, Mary, where can our listeners connect with you and be part of your community and learn more about this book? And I'm sure you've got others that are coming down the pike. You're such a great writer.
You can find all my books on Amazon, online, Barnes and Nobles, any independent bookstores. I'm always pushing those because many of them closed during that COVID era. And go onto my author website, www.maryksavarese.com, and you can connect with me there. And, I'm part of a small publishing house, an all-women's publishing house, Indigner House, that I love them. They are so incredible. They are giving to the people that suffered in Maui. There's a book, Fish Scales. If any of your readers end up buying it, all the proceeds will be going to the people that have suffered in Maui. So I'm just so very proud, Marianne, of my publishing house. I love them so very, very much.
Well, what a great cause to be a part of. Mary, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the show with us here today.
Oh, it's been an honor and a pleasure for me too, Marianne, to be with you and your audience here.
Well, thank you, Mary. It has been such an honor to spend this time with you and to talk about your books, The Girl in the Toile Wallpaper, and the Star Writers Club. Make sure to visit Mary's website at Mary K. Savarese to learn more about her books and become part of her community. Well, we're at the end of our time today. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. You've been listening to Moments with Marianne, where we make every moment count.
In a single moment, your life can change. Moments with Marianne is a transformative hour that covers an endless array of topics with the best of the best. Her guests are leaders in their fields, ranging from inspirational authors, top industry leaders, and business and spiritual entrepreneurs. Each guest is gifted and a true visionary, a recognized leader in her own work, and while teaching others to develop, refocus, and grow, Marianne will bring the best guest and sometimes a special surprise. Don't miss this. You never know just which moment will change your life forever. Make sure to tune in and visit momentswithmarianne.com for more information.